When we talk about rebuilding muscle, most people think about lifting heavy weights, long hours in the gym, or taking exotic supplements. But the truth is far simpler and far more profound. Your muscle tissue isn't just shaped by what you do in the gym, it's shaped by what you put on your plate. And there's one particular food consumed daily that can radically accelerate muscle repair and growth. Before I name it, let's step back and understand what muscle actually is and how it's built. Muscle tissue is made of proteins, but it's not just about eating more protein. Your muscle is a dynamic tissue, constantly being broken down and rebuilt every single day. Even if you don't lift weights, your body is constantly remodeling muscle fibers. When you train, you create micro tears in those fibers, and your body's repair process is what makes you stronger, not the workout itself. So the critical question becomes, how do we tip the balance toward repair and growth instead of breakdown? This comes down to three pillars: the signal, the substrate, and the support. The signal is resistance training or any kind of mechanical tension that tells your body, hey, we need stronger muscle here. The substrate is the raw material, amino acids, the building blocks of protein coming from your diet. And the support is everything else: hormones, sleep, nervous system activation that allows this process to happen efficiently. Now, here's where it gets fascinating. Not all protein sources are equal when it comes to muscle repair. The quality of the amino acids matters, and one amino acid in particular, leucine, acts as a master switch for muscle building. Leucine activates a pathway in your muscle cells called mTOR, short for mechanistic target of rapamycin. Think of mTOR as the central growth regulator. When it's activated, your body turns on muscle protein synthesis like flipping a light switch. The food I'm talking about is a high-quality, leucine-rich protein source that you can eat once a day to dramatically enhance this process. And that food is whey protein. Muscle repair is not simply the result of lifting weights or engaging in strenuous exercise. It is the outcome of a coordinated system that involves three essential pillars: the signal, the substrate, and the support. Many people mistakenly believe that if they just work harder in the gym, their muscles will automatically grow. In reality, training is only the spark. To rebuild muscle effectively, your body needs to receive a clear message to adapt the raw building blocks to make that adaptation possible, and the right internal environment to allow the process to unfold at full efficiency. The signal is generated when you challenge your muscles through resistance or mechanical tension. This doesn't just mean lifting heavy weights. It could be using resistance bands, bodyweight exercises, or even movements that stress the muscle enough to cause microscopic damage. Those micro tears in the muscle fibers are detected by your nervous system and your muscle cells, which then send molecular messages to initiate repair and reinforcement. But that signal alone is not enough. If your body doesn't have the substrate, meaning the amino acids, fats, and other nutrients necessary to physically rebuild the damaged fibers, then the repair process is compromised. Protein provides the amino acids required to form new muscle proteins, but it's not simply about eating more. It's about providing the right type of amino acids at the right time so your body can respond efficiently to the training signal. Even with a strong signal and ample substrate, muscle building can be slowed or even stalled if the support system isn't there. The support pillar includes hormones, sleep, nervous system balance, and overall recovery. When you're chronically stressed or deprived of rest, your body produces elevated levels of cortisol, a hormone that shifts energy away from long-term repair and towards short-term survival. This high-stress state blunts the anabolic or muscle-building processes triggered by training and nutrition. Likewise, if you're not sleeping deeply enough, your natural pulses of growth hormone are reduced, which further hinders tissue repair. Think of these three pillars as legs of a stool. If one is missing or weak, the entire structure wobbles. A powerful training signal without adequate protein means your body can't construct new muscle fibers. Plenty of protein without a training signal means you're simply giving your body extra amino acids it doesn't have a reason to use for muscle growth. A strong signal and abundant substrate without proper support, meaning poor sleep, high stress, or hormonal imbalances, will result in slower recovery, lower strength gains, and sometimes even muscle loss. Understanding this three-pillar model reframes how to approach muscle repair and growth. Instead of focusing on any single factor in isolation, the goal is to make sure all three are working together in harmony. You want to provide your muscles with clear instructions to adapt, fuel them with the highest quality building blocks, and create an environment inside your body where repair is prioritized and efficient. Leucine is one of the 9 essential amino acids, meaning the body cannot make it on its own and must obtain it through diet, but it holds a special position among amino acids because of its ability to act as a trigger for muscle protein synthesis. Within your muscle cells exists a key molecular pathway called mTOR, which functions as the master regulator for growth and repair. When leucine levels in the bloodstream reach a certain threshold, they activate mTOR directly, essentially flipping a biochemical switch that tells the muscle machinery to start building new protein. This is why not all protein sources are equal when it comes to stimulating muscle repair. Foods or supplements rich in leucine send a much louder signal to the muscle compared to protein sources with lower leucine content. For example, many plant proteins contain amino acids but often lack high amounts of leucine, which means you would have to consume much more to achieve the same muscle building effect. In contrast, certain animal-based proteins, and particularly whey protein, contain very high concentrations of leucine per gram. Once leucine enters the bloodstream after digestion, it travels into the muscle cells where it binds to sensors that control the activity of mTOR. mTOR then activates ribosomes, the tiny factories in the cell that assemble amino acids into long chains, forming new proteins to repair the fibers damaged during exercise or daily activity. Without enough leucine, this process runs at a low idle speed, even if you've done a great workout and even if you have adequate total protein intake. Scientists have identified that around 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine in a single meal or supplement is required to reach the full activation point for mTOR. This is known as the leucine threshold. Hitting that threshold once or twice a day is far more effective for muscle repair than simply spreading small amounts of protein throughout the day. It's not about endlessly feeding the body protein. It's about giving it a concentrated pulse of the right amino acid at the right time to stimulate adaptation. Younger people can sometimes get by with less because their muscles are naturally more sensitive to protein intake. But as we age, we develop anabolic resistance, meaning the muscle is less responsive to these signals. Consuming higher leucine proteins overcomes this resistance and restores the muscle's ability to grow and repair efficiently. This is one reason why older adults often benefit disproportionately from targeted leucine intake. It is also why strategic supplementation or food selection becomes so important even if total daily protein seems adequate. Without high leucine sources, the signaling to build muscle may never fully reach its maximum potential. Leucine is not a magic substance by itself. It still requires the full complement of essential amino acids to actually build complete proteins in the muscle, but its role as the switch makes it indispensable for turning on the muscle building machinery at the cellular level. Whey protein is one of the most efficient and well-researched foods for stimulating rapid muscle rebuilding because of its unique amino acid profile and rapid digestion. When consumed, whey protein is broken down and absorbed quickly, causing amino acids to flood the bloodstream within less than an hour. This quick spike is crucial because it strongly activates the biochemical pathways responsible for muscle protein synthesis. Unlike slower digesting proteins such as casein or even solid foods like meat or eggs, whey provides an immediate, concentrated pulse of the amino acids muscles need to repair and grow. What makes whey stand out even further is its exceptionally high leucine content, which is the key amino acid that flips on the mTOR pathway, the main molecular switch for muscle growth. Just one serving of whey protein, typically around 25 to 30 grams, supplies enough leucine to reach the threshold necessary to fully stimulate muscle protein synthesis in both younger individuals and in older adults who are less sensitive to protein intake. Whey protein is also a complete protein, meaning it contains all 9 essential amino acids in optimal ratios for human health, and this makes it particularly effective for rebuilding muscle tissue after training or during periods of recovery. Because it digests so rapidly, it is perfect for creating what scientists call an anabolic pulse, a brief, powerful rise in blood amino acid levels that signals the body to repair and reinforce muscle fibers. This is especially important for people over the age of 40 or 50, where anabolic resistance begins to blunt the muscle's response to ordinary protein intake. Whey essentially overrides that resistance by delivering such a concentrated, high-quality dose of the necessary building blocks. Compared to whole food sources like chicken, beef, or fish, which are excellent but slower to digest, whey offers an efficiency advantage. You would need to consume larger portions of those foods to hit the same leucine threshold, whereas whey provides in a smaller, more convenient serving. Another reason whey is so effective is its impact on insulin, though not in the way carbohydrates affect blood sugar. When you consume whey, it produces a mild, healthy rise in insulin levels, which helps shuttle amino acids into muscle cells more effectively. This improves nutrient uptake and accelerates the rebuilding process without causing the metabolic downsides associated with high sugar intake. The result is a potent combination of rapid delivery, high leucine concentration, and strong cellular signaling, making whey protein a superior choice for anyone who wants to accelerate muscle repair, preserve lean mass during aging, or enhance recovery between workouts. Even for people who are not athletes, a single daily serving of whey protein can help maintain muscle mass, support metabolism, and improve functional strength, all of which are critical for long-term health and resilience. Consuming 25 to 30 grams of whey protein once per day is enough to reach the leucine threshold required to fully activate the muscle, building machinery inside your cells. This amount delivers roughly 2.5 to 3 grams of leucine, which research consistently shows is the key level needed to stimulate maximal muscle protein synthesis in a single feeding. Hitting this target does not require multiple shakes or constant snacking on protein throughout the day. It simply requires one deliberate serving that is high quality and taken at a consistent time. When you consume this amount of whey protein, amino acid levels in your blood rise sharply within 30 to 60 minutes, creating a strong anabolic signal to your muscles. This is what scientists refer to as an anabolic pulse, a concentrated, time-limited event that flips the switch on the mTOR pathway and instructs your body to begin repairing and strengthening muscle fibers. Unlike the common belief that you need to eat protein every few hours to maintain growth, the evidence shows that distinct pulses of protein that meet this leucine threshold are more effective at stimulating adaptation than small, frequent intakes that never fully activate the process. This single daily serving works even for those who already consume protein from meals because it ensures at least one instance per day where your muscle repair systems are fully engaged, is particularly valuable for people over 50 who experience anabolic resistance, a condition where the muscle tissue is less responsive to normal protein intake. A 25 to 30 gram serving of whey bypasses that resistance by providing a rapid, dense supply of amino acids in the exact ratio required to maximize the rebuilding response. Timing this serving around exercise can enhance the benefits because resistance training sensitizes muscle cells to amino acids for many hours afterward. But even on non-training days, the effect remains powerful if consumed regularly. By creating a reliable daily signal, you support consistent recovery, improved strength, and preservation of lean muscle mass. This amount is also practical because it is easily obtained from a single scoop of a high-quality whey protein powder mixed with water or milk without requiring large quantities of food that may be difficult for some people to digest or fit into their appetite. Unlike very high protein intakes that can be difficult to sustain or unnecessary for most people, this level provides the optimal balance between effectiveness and simplicity. Older adults benefit even more from high-leucine protein intake because it helps overcome anabolic resistance, the natural decline in muscle's ability to respond to dietary protein as we age. In younger individuals, even moderate amounts of protein efficiently stimulate muscle protein synthesis. But after about age 40 to 50, the same protein intake produces a much weaker response. This is due to changes in muscle cell signaling pathways, decreased sensitivity of mTOR activation, and shifts in hormonal environment, including lower levels of growth hormone and testosterone. The result is that older adults lose muscle more quickly and rebuild it more slowly, even if they are eating what appears to be enough protein. By providing a concentrated source of leucine, such as whey protein, the threshold for activating muscle repair can be reached and the diminished signaling can be bypassed. Studies have shown that when older adults consume 25 to 30 grams of high-quality protein in a single serving, they experience a significantly stronger anabolic response than when the same protein is spread in smaller amounts throughout the day. This concentrated pulse of amino acids essentially shouts at the muscle to grow, whereas lower doses merely whisper. Maintaining and rebuilding muscle in later decades of life is not just about strength or appearance, it is critical for mobility, balance, metabolic health, and independence. Loss of muscle mass, known as sarcopenia, is a major contributor to frailty, increased risk of falls, slower recovery from illness, and reduced ability to perform everyday tasks. By ensuring that muscle tissue receives a strong and regular signal to repair itself, older adults can slow or even reverse these declines. High-leucine proteins like whey are especially useful because they digest quickly and provide the necessary building blocks in the precise ratios the body needs without requiring the person to consume very large amounts of food. Many older adults struggle with reduced appetite, digestive issues, or difficulty chewing dense protein sources such as meat. A single scoop of whey protein mixed with water or milk is simple, easy to absorb, and effective. It also pairs naturally with light resistance exercise, which further enhances muscle sensitivity to amino acids. When older individuals combine these two strategies, strength training to provide the mechanical signal and leucine-rich protein to provide the biochemical trigger, the improvements in muscle mass and function are substantial. This approach directly supports healthier aging by pre-bone density through improved muscle tension, supporting metabolic control by increasing glucose storage in muscle, and improving quality of life through greater physical capability. Pairing whey intake with resistance training, sleep, and stress management creates a synergistic environment where muscle repair and growth happen more efficiently and more consistently. Resistance training provides the essential signal, telling your body that stronger muscle fibers are needed, while whey protein supplies the substrate in the exact form required to rebuild those fibers quickly. But this combination works best when the body is also in a supportive state. Sleep is when much of the actual repair takes place because growth hormone and other recovery-related compounds are released in high amounts during deep sleep stages. Without sufficient high-quality sleep, even optimal protein intake and perfect workouts cannot produce maximal gains in strength or muscle size because the hormonal environment will not fully support the process. Stress management is another key factor because chronic stress elevates cortisol levels, and cortisol tends to break down muscle tissue and divert resources away from repair and growth. Simple practices such as deep breathing, meditation, exposure to natural light early in the day, or even short walks can lower stress hormones, aligning your nervous system toward recovery rather than survival. When these elements are integrated, each supports the other's. Training makes the muscles more sensitive to amino acids. Whey protein provides the building blocks to take advantage of that sensitivity. Adequate sleep ensures that anabolic hormones are active during the night, and reduced stress keeps catabolic signals from interfering with the repair process. The result is faster recovery after workouts, greater retention of muscle during aging, and improved overall health. This approach doesn't require extreme measures or complicated routines, just deliberate attention to providing the right signal, the right fuel, and the right internal conditions at the same time.